What you are about to watch is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute any type of advice. Always question the validity of what you see and what you hear. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you watch our other videos, you will quickly realize that we're here to tell you the unapologetic truth, that we don't hold back when it comes to elevating God's majesty, and at the same time debunk those fake gurus, tyrants, and grifters who take advantage of the world to make a profit. This is what makes our channel different. This is what makes our channel special. We're not here to spread comfortable lies and promise you that your salvation and success depends on you opening your wallet to anyone. Anyone who tells you that wants to access your resources by guilting you or reinforcing lies that cause you to fear concepts such as the idea that if you don't obey what they ask you to obey, you will go to hell. But we have debunked the idea of hell before for the lie that it is. The grifters have used the concepts such as the mistranslation of the Bible, where hell was not an appropriate translation. Hell was a pagan idea and a scheme that the Catholic Church used at the peak of their empire in order to control the masses. But like all empires, their status is now fading and falling apart, leaving them just as an optional faith rather than the mandate that they were once in countries like Spain and Mexico. They used to be able to have you tortured and punished if they so wanted to, and see no consequences. They have abused their power, and their clown-like behavior has been exposed. Priests have tarnished their reputation to the point of no return. Their biggest mistake was to allow the Protestant movement to start and propagate. They were in such a powerful status that they could have crushed it the moment that it showed up, but instead, they saw it as an insignificant opponent that represented no threat. But they violated the law of power that clearly indicates that any opponent that you don't crush to the end can be your downfall. This is exactly what has chipped so much at their power that they are now just an option for a faith rather than the default of the land. Islam and Judaism do not make these mistakes. The enforcement of the practices of their faith have kept them strong for hundreds of years, and as long as that discipline exists, they will always be around and growing in numbers. The Christian Church is now making the same mistakes that their parent founders, the Catholic Church, made. They are allowing the manipulation and arrogance to comfortably let them stand and think that they have it made. But this is the beginning of their downfall as well. People are realizing that the lies such as the obligation of you paying them 10% of their salary, there is no benefit, and people are realizing. They are going as far as causing people to leave God behind and hate His word because of their lies and manipulation. They are the cause that many people are marrying when they are not suitable to be married. Divorces happen, and those divorces ruin lives. The church forces their attendees to get married because they think that they're living in sin. Then the marriage does not work and divorce leaves them broke. This is a much greater sin. We are here to expose that and have you make your choice of leaving that grift and manipulation behind. Today's segment will help you skip the grift that these manipulators have created. No longer will you fall for the primal tactics that these manipulators use against you. Today, we will talk about how to let go of your past. We don't mean the past where accomplishments began, your work history, or the wisdom that you have attained. The past is your history for you to share, for you to remember where you came from and the things that you have done right. The notion of the past that you must let go is the past where you made mistakes, where you had regrets, where you know that you were in the wrong and refused to address it. We don't mean to let go of the past in the sense that you decide not to be accountable for your actions. We mean to let go of the past in the sense that you have learned, held yourself accountable, and that you have become wiser because your mistakes as well as your successes are making you who you are. If you've ever messed up and tried to amend, that's a very mature strategy on your part. If you have already shown that you feel terrible for your mistakes, then that's an effort of maturity as well. What works against you is a constant over-apologizing, to constantly blame yourself and to feel sorry for yourself for categorizing yourself as a poor decision maker. The greatest danger is that we as humans, when we rise into power of wisdom, status, or wealth, it usually happens because we figure the intuition that allows us to read others and our environment. These people will see our guilt demeanor and take advantage of you to elevate their power. This channel is actually designed to help you awaken to that level of intuition as well, but that will come with time and when it needs to happen. For now, know that the guilt that you carry will sooner or later be taken advantage by those who have managed to harness a level of social power. Scammers like false pastors and grifters will guilt you into giving them your hard-earned money in exchange for salvation. They are as bad as gold diggers and as bad as a woman who's with you for the money, claims to be loyal, and then spends the money with men that she actually is attracted to. They are both the harlots of life, prostituting themselves for the cash without any remorse about the consequences that you will suffer. But their days are counted, because we're awakening to the level of wisdom that they are not ready to deal with. By letting go of the regretful and guilt-ridden aspect of your past, not only will you prevent manipulators to bother you, but you will be able to learn from your past, not fall into the same mistakes, and no longer feel like you are the victim of misfortune. You will be in charge of your life, able to make better decisions, and wise up by recognizing your mistakes so you can take opportunities to perform better and more efficiently. God is alive and is ready to proclaim his throne in society. God proclaims his power to humanity through truth. This is why we're here and why you're here, because you're ready for the truth. Because deep down, you know that the lies that are circulating are that, just lies, meant to keep their true agenda hidden and to take advantage of your pain and suffering. No human being has the right to exploit any other human being. This is where realizing that allowing others to judge your past is the ultimate mistake. Unless it was someone who you have actually hurt and need to show that you truly seek for forgiveness from them, no one has the right to use your past against you. Even those who you owe an apology to, they have the right to refuse to forgive you and not have you bother them. It is a personal choice, and when you understand that, you realize that some mistakes that you make may have no going back, may be unable to get past, and therefore relationships may be over. The best you can do is to learn from them and become a better person. You are not forced to try to be perfect. What you need is to learn, be accountable, and have a realistic overview of what life is and how it works. Only God can achieve perfection. The more you try to achieve that perfection, the farther that you will be from it. What makes most is that you recognize and learn the lessons from both your success and failures. The term sin means failure, which in essence is the damaging mistakes that you make in life. You have every right to revisit the past and learn from it. What hurts you is not looking into the past, but rather burdening yourself with guilt of something that you cannot change. The false belief of thinking that you need a third party to help you find forgiveness from God is one of the worst mistakes that you can make. The grifters are ready to take advantage of that guilt and cash in on it. As a son or daughter of God, you have the right to directly reach to God, ask for forgiveness, and a chance to be better and do things different. There are times when it becomes a good idea to go and ask those who we hurt for forgiveness, but there are times when it is best to leave these people alone. You don't want to cause more harm by reaching out to certain people. The best strategy is to sit with the idea for what you have done and allow yourself to feel the regret. But leave it between you and God for you to reach forgiveness and be able to let go and become the better person who will not make those mistakes again. The reason we're here is to serve God, learn from this journey, and create a better life for us and those around us. The grifters are smart because they use the Bible to tell you that you must confess your sins to each other. Although the Bible does say this, it says with intention to share your mistakes with the wise and kind people who can share what they know about life with you and help you learn your lessons so you become a better person. However, the grifters use it to know things about you and your past that they can use to guilt you into paying them a portion of your earnings. They love gossip and judgment, and now they have a reason to judge you and guilt you into pain. By knowing your secrets, they have something on you, and they will not share their mistakes with you. And if they do, notice how they don't make a big deal out of it, or they mention that they have gotten past that stage as to be a role model for you, so you aim to be like them, but never will. It is just an illusion to have you chasing some sort of carrot on the string and keep you there as a cult follower. This is a harsh truth that few people even dare to bring up because it is taboo to talk about someone who claims to be a servant of God and expose them as grifters, liars, and manipulators. Well, it used to be. I think that now the freedom of public speaking on platforms is becoming more accepted. I know I'm not the only one who's exposing the church tyrants. There are others doing an excellent job already. Others are exposing fake gurus like delusional Teal Swan, Adida, and other cult leaders ready to put themselves in the pedestal of worship where people seeking enlightenment will be expected to give their all to them. The first lesson to learn is that no human being is above others. If they claim that the knowledge that they have is so special and out of your reach, this is a huge red flag, so big that this flag becomes part of the China's communist regime. But outside of this terrible joke, you must understand that no level of knowledge is outside of your reach. If understanding or accepting certain concepts is difficult for you, it's because the conditioning that you have been exposed to. What must be done first is to resolve and let go of this conditioning. When you're able to do that, you will no longer struggle learning and becoming as well aware or even more than these fake gurus. Your past plays a part in your learning as much as it plays as part of how you respond to others. One thing that you must remember is that no one has the right to judge you, just like you don't have the right to judge others. We sometimes take into judgments because we as humans use judgment to make decisions. This is something that we all do, especially those who claim not to be judgmental. What I mean by no one having the right to judge you is that no one has the right to use your guilt to play it against you and take advantage of you. Many will judge you in silence, including you, but that means next to nothing because you're not here to please anyone unless you have an agreement to do so. For example, if you're in a relationship, you have the right to be respected and have that obligation to respect this person and not to do anything that will ruin your reputation or the reputation of others. This is something that people in the Blue app don't understand. They want to keep selling pictures and videos of their exposed bodies and expect their partners to be supportive and respectful of such trashy behavior. This is why they will never find a respectable and intelligent partner. But that's a story for another day. This is the type of behavior and act that we can judge, but not in the sense that we tell strangers to stop doing what they're doing, but in the sense that we judge to know that we don't want to associate with these people who have no respect for themselves. Outside of that, we don't have the right to tell these people anything, as it is none of our business. They have every right to defile their body for $10. They will be the ones to reap the consequences. All we have is the right to do is be aware that they exist so that we don't associate with them. We want them to keep their issues and baggage to themselves. This concept can be a bit of a paradox because it appears like we don't have the right to judge anyone, but we must judge to make the right choices. The reason it appears this way is because the way that it is stated. But in reality, we don't have the right to bother anyone who is not in our business to bother. If your wife, who you have 2 kids with, is in the Blue app, showing her body to others and looking for men to video with her, then it is your business. You have every right to take her to court, mention what she's doing, show your evidence, and hope that the court understands that it is in the best interest of the children to be with you full time. Unfortunately, we know that there are courts who actually view that behavior as empowering for women and will grant her full custody so that she can use your child support to purchase camera upgrades and invite more men to help her create content. This shows that the court will do anything to keep you on the hook regardless of the other parent's behavior. Now, if a stranger is defiling herself, you don't know her. It is not up to you to bother her and tell her what is best for her. Even if it bothers you for some reason, it is none of your business what this stranger does. You can observe and see the horrendous behavior so you learn who not to be around and allow your thoughts to realize that you will never want someone like that in your life, but you have no right of saying anything to her or the thoughts like her. You can classify them however you want, but you just don't have a better right to bother them if they don't bother you directly. This is what I mean by no one having the right to judge anyone. Your past will always affect you because whatever you have done in the past is the reason why you are where you are today. Sometimes you may make mistakes that make it more difficult for you in the present to move where you want to move. For example, if you rejected a very favorable education opportunity in the past, today you may be telling yourself that you would be much better if you had taken advantage of that opportunity, and it is likely true that what you're thinking is correct. However, the best you can do is to learn to recognize real opportunities so you can take advantage going forward. What you shouldn't allow to happen is to let some employer guilt you into staying in some job because they are guilting you about your decision making and that you should be thankful for the opportunity. And if you leave, you will be making the same mistake that you made in the past. Years ago, I provided guidance to a lady who hated her job. She had been in that job for the past 7 years. It was a call center job that she just wanted to leave so bad. But when she addressed to her supervisor that she just couldn't do it anymore, the supervisor guilted her into staying because the health insurance that she had, which the employer was paying for, had helped her get a surgery that she needed when she needed it. She would just agree and put her head down, which left her miserable and compliant. The reality was that this company had a need for her to stay on her position since she was one of the top performers. She was good at closing deals and enjoying the challenge in closing deals. But further digging into her situation, we discovered together that what was the problem was that the mission and work of the company and what she wanted out of life did not align. Granted, the company wasn't scamming anyone and their level of service was actually decent, but she found it meaningless and she wanted to do something more meaningful and satisfying. She was a kind and sweet person who never took things for granted. She was thankful for anything kind that anyone would do for her, which was a great character attribute. The problem was that because of some childhood abuse, she carried guilt because she thought that her parents separated because of her, and to a point she did cause her mom to leave her dad because she exposed an affair that her dad was having when she was around 11. Her dad stopped talking to her but constantly visited her brothers, and as her brothers became closer to their father, they became more distant to her and blamed her for their parents not being together. She now was being guilted into compliance, not realizing that her medical insurance was part of her compensation in exchange for her work. She owed nothing to the company and had no obligation to stay if it no longer satisfied her. Perhaps finding other opportunities, landing another job, thankfully and respectfully putting in her 2-week notice, and moving on would have been her best strategy. I said thankfully because it is important to be thankful for the opportunities we have, even if we are to move on later. Gratitude plays a huge role in life and success. I'm not here to promulgate entitlement and arrogance. I am here to share the good news in finding the truth and how to use that to become a better human being. If I sound confrontational at times, it's because I am. I want to stand for truth, kindness, and love for others. The people of God are not weak. We're not afraid to stand up against any deceit. It is my invitation to you to visit our website, Rising Awakening, and check out our books. One is a free download, others are donation for $20 or more, but you give what you're able to and what you feel is in your heart that is necessary. I don't want anyone to have no food on the table because of us. Peace be with you.